Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals are back. YouTube, what's going on? My name is Juan Gotti. I'm a guy that has a dream of one day becoming a sports broadcaster, so I made this channel by covering the Washington Commanders, my favorite team, and of course the whole entire NFL. So if that's something that you would like to watch, please do me a favor and subscribe to this channel and like this video. Now let's get straight to it. Yesterday, the Cincinnati Bengals beat the Arizona Cardinals by a score of 34-20. And one thing about your team not playing on Sunday, you get to watch everybody. Now I know unfortunately my Commanders took a loss on Thursday Night Football to the Chicago Bears, which was horrible, but it allowed me to watch every single game. It was so many good games yesterday. I mean, so many thrilling games. You know, obviously you got the Texans and the Texans and Falcons, the Colts and Titans, and the Ravens and Steelers. It was so many good 1 o'clock games, and then the 4 o'clock window came, and that's when I wanted to watch the Cincinnati Bengals and the Arizona Cardinals, because as we know, the Cardinals have been a team that has been ultra competitive but hasn't really been able to get wins, obviously because, you know, some things happen, but they've been much better. And this was a true test to see if the Cincinnati Bengals are just in a rut right now, or are they actually going to be bad this year? Because this video was going to be totally different if the Cincinnati Bengals lost. It was going to be Joe Burrow is hurting the Cincinnati Bengals, but they actually found a way to win and looked real good doing it. They look like the Cincinnati Bengals that we are accustomed to seeing. And I'm going to be honest with you, man. The Bengals and the Chiefs are the two matchups that I've seen, you know, two teams that I have came accustomed to seeing playing in the playoffs, and whether that's the divisional round or AFC Championship, I like that little rivalry. Now, I don't know if we're going to get that per se this year, because you got good teams like the Dolphins and obviously the Bills and so many other teams that are actually good in the AFC now, but that little rivalry I like to see, Joe Burrow versus Pat Mahomes, and I didn't know if we were going to get that early on, because obviously Joe Burrow was dealing with the calf injury and they were not looking good. But this past week was the first time this season that I've seen Joe Burrow look like Joe Burrow. Even in their first win of the season versus the Rams, I still was like, yeah, Joe Burrow's not 100%. And at this point, I think he's hurting his team. But you got to also look at it like this. The front office pretty much failed him. I felt like they rushed him back, and they weren't prepared to be without Joe Burrow in the first place, because they did not have a quality backup quarterback. You look at the team that you faced, Josh Dobbs, he was out there. And you guys got to know, if you're in the front office and you're following your team and your quarterback isn't healthy. Obviously, we know Joe Burrow's the starter and he's the franchise QB, but you got to know, if he's not healthy, you got to have somebody in replace of Joe Burrow, and they didn't have that. So they kind of put themselves in a position to where they had to force Joe Burrow to play whether he was healthy or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think if they would have signed to Josh Dobbs or traded for him in the offseason, or if they would have got a Jacoby Brissett, you know, potentially traded with him with Washington, or somebody out there, Tyrod Taylor, you know, somebody, you know, just to have a safe plan just in case Joe Burrow wasn't healthy. You could have a backup plan and wouldn't have to rush him. I think right now, if they would have had one of those quality backups, they would have not had to play Joe Burrow, and he would still be recovering. He probably would have just come off IR this past week, but he had to play through the calf injury, even though he wasn't 100%. You could clearly see he wasn't able to drive the ball how we came to accustomed to Joe Burrow driving the ball. And then that created frustration with, you know, the wide receivers. Obviously, Jamar Chase dropping the F-bomb last week, saying, "I'm always effing open." This past week, they gave him the ball, and as he said, he was always open, because he dropped 3 touchdowns. And the Cincinnati Bengals, I think, are back, because Joe Burrow, not only did they beat the Cardinals, that wasn't the reason why I made this video. It was how they looked. That looked like the Joe Burrow that we know pre-calf injury, okay? He looked like he had some drive on his deep shots, on the pass across the middle. Didn't look like he was flustered, and he was able to move. Now, he made some tweaks. He made some adjustments to how he's able to throw the ball without putting all that pressure on his calf. So his calf, by any means, is still not 100%. That thing is probably not going to be 100% until the season is over, because obviously he's not going to come out. And they going to be moving forward, going to have to rely heavily on Joe Burrow still. You know what I'm saying? That run game, Joe Mixon, he hasn't really been able to get going. He had 81 rushing yards last week, but they weren't able to get going with the run game with Joe Mixon. So they need to figure out how to get that going to take some pressure off of Joe Burrow. And obviously T. Higgins didn't play yesterday, but I think they're back. I really do. I think they're going to be fine, and I think, you know, that slow start that they had the last 2 years, it happens, you know what I'm saying? But I think this weekend versus the Seahawks is gonna be a good test to see how good they really are, how back they really are, because the Seahawks, even though they had like, what was it, like 10, 11 sacks versus the Giants, it's the Giants, bro. This is gonna be a true test, and I think the Bengals have a chance to obviously go there and beat the Seahawks because their defense isn't that good. You know what I'm saying? Again, like I said, I know they're coming off a dominant performance, but it's the Giants. Even though the Seahawks are coming off a bye week, so they're gonna be much healthier, but I think the Bengals can win that game. I think they also going to then, I think they have a bye week, and then they play the 49ers. It's going to be a real tough game. But again, that bye week is coming at a right perfect time because you're playing arguably the best team in the NFC when you come out of that bye, so they can give Joe Burrow some time to heal and, you know, figure out some things that he can continue to do. But again, they looked good, man. What's the guy's name? The wide receiver, the white guy, not trying to be race into this, but the white guy, he was killing them underneath, man. He was real good yesterday. Helping out Jamar Chase with no T. Higgins. My guy, he was really good. We're gonna get his name right here, Trenton Irwin. You know what I'm saying? He was good yesterday. He was killing them. He was killing them, man. I think he almost had another touchdown or a touchdown if he didn't get one. Like it was near the goal. I think he did have a touchdown. And Joe Burrow, again, like I said, he looked good yesterday. And that was a much needed win. You know what I'm saying? If they would have lost to the Cardinals, or even if they would have won, but it still didn't look convincing like how it did yesterday, I would have had some questions. And this video would have been titled "Joe Burrow is hurting his team because he won't relax, he won't sit." But then again, like I said, the front office put them in a position to where he couldn't relax. Okay, he threw for 317, 36 for 46. 3 touchdowns and a pick, so he looked like the old Joe Burrow. But like I was saying, his team did him a disservice by not giving him a chance to relax if they wanted to. So he kind of has to play. And Joe Burrow is not no guy that is not used to, obviously used to adversity. Torn ACL, obviously didn't start first right away when he went to college. You know what I'm saying? He's used to some adversity, man. So this guy is definitely a fighter. But I personally think they're good now. I think they're back, and I think this is going to be a true test this upcoming week versus the actual good team to see where they really are. But I think they're going to be good. I think they're going to go into Seattle, and I think they're going to obviously beat the Seahawks. Like I said, Joe Burrow had to play. You know what I'm saying? Because we were going to put in Drake Browning, bro? No, you weren't going to do that. So he had to play, and again, I don't think he is necessarily 100%, but I definitely do think that Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals are back, especially after this performance. Again, like I said, if it was a performance where they did not look good and they won like 18-19, kind of like that Rams performance, then this video would be totally different. But they had a convincing win. They looked good. Joe Burrow was able to drive the ball down the field like Joe Burrow normally does. He connected with Jamar Chase for 3 touchdowns, so he's happy. I haven't necessarily seen the mobility of Joe Burrow in the pocket or outside the pocket how we normally see. But again, that may not be at all this season because he's not going to be 100% if he keeps playing on that calf. So as long as they are continuing to tweak things and work with him to help him play through that calf injury until he gets to the off season when he's going to be able to fully be able to rehab and recover, then that'll be good for them. And then you look at the AFC North. That's why I also think they're back, because you look at the AFC North, it's no good team in the AFC North that's going to run away with this division. You look at the Browns, they're banged up. They're mid-team without Nick Chubb. The Steelers, they're hit or miss. One week they want to be good, next week they want to be bad. So they don't scare you. They're not. They're okay. They may be around, but they're hit or miss. And then the Ravens, the team that was supposed to be favored to win this division, they're hit or miss too. One week they want to be good, next week they want to be bad. Look at the game versus the Steelers yesterday. I know that was a division game, but in my opinion, the Ravens haven't been all that impressive this year. I know they've been super banged up, but what team isn't banged up at this point? You feel me? So I think the Bengals are back, and I think they're back to on their way to being the top of the AFC North and winning that division. So with that being said, it's me, boy, one guy. Let me know what you guys think about this video in the comment section down below. Do you think the Cincinnati Bengals are back and Joe Burrow is back to his old self, or do y'all have to still see more? Hey, Bengal fans, if you're out there listening, please comment down below, and don't be hesitant to subscribe to the channel if you are new. See y'all later. Have a blessed one. Peace.